What is up, guys? I Crab Spilt Milk here. Now, recently I've been um, befuddled by a recent from the Now That's What I Call Music collection. So recently we had the Now Millennium series released. So here's the first one. The second one is due to be released. I believe it's this week. It's the O2 to O3 one. I think it's blue in color. This one's red. So this has got this is now Millennium 00 to 01. So on here we've got 41 hits from 2000, year 2000, and you've got 42 hits on from 2001. So I'll put the track. So here's a track list for it. As you can see, you got like "Beautiful Day" by U2 kicking off. Great song. Hope you can see that okay. So that's what we got on there. It's quite a good. I quite like the collection. He's got something for everyone on there. You got like some weird ones like Wiki Martin, She Bangs. Welcome edition is Williams Orbit's Barber's Adagio for strings, the Ferry Corsten remix. Ooh, that's quite good. You also got Take On Me by A1. The cover of by the Aha. Got Britney Spears, Oops, I Did It Again, there's Club 7 Reach, Yellow by Coldplay, Rock DJ by Bobby Williams, Can't Find the Moonlight by Leanne Mimes. For this video, I'll just concentrate on the year 2000 because I think it's a bit too much to bite off at the moment. So anyway, what I want to do is, as you all know, I'm a massive collector of the Now That's What I Call Music series, but I want to recreate this, but do it as a using no songs that are being used on a now. Um, so the songs I use cannot be featured on any of these. So Now 45, that was released early 2000. You got Now 46, that was released summer 2000, and then you got Now 47, which was released winter 2000. Just don't know how I can do this so you can see them all. There you go. That looks quite cool, doesn't it? Also, things to look at. I'll just put the track list up. There's a bit that sometimes you can get a bit of crossover. So I'll also check Now 44. The song. Sometimes you get some songs from like the previous year. Like this was released in 1999, but they could still be a hit in the year 2000. So I can't use them because they're on here. And then and the same on the other side. So Now 48, you got 2001 hits on here. So, for example, the biggest hit of the year 2000 was "Can We Fix It" by Bob the Builder. However, as it's featured on here, I can't use it. So, yeah, so you've got to check that and just double check there's no, for crossover. So here's the track list. Just you can pause the video, but here's a track listing for Now 45. Okay, and then Now 46. Hope you can see that okay. And then Now 47. So you can make sure that I'm not there's nothing slipping on here. You know, that shouldn't be on there. It shouldn't be on my list. I'll also show you Now 44 and Now 48. There you go. So I hope you can see them all okay. Yeah. There we go. So just pause it if you need to. Right. Anyway, that's enough of the introduction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 20 songs from, well, it's going to be 40 songs from each year. So it's 20 on each disc. So I'm going to do a disc 1 and disc 2. In the next video, I'm going to do disc 3 and disc 4 to cover 2001. So let's get into it. So that's basically the rule. So 40 songs from each year. As you can probably imagine, as we get closer to the modern day, I don't think it will be to the modern day because the Millennium series will probably only run till like 2008, 2009. That'll be like the last one they have. So, I was getting a bit worried there, thinking I might struggle to like modern day because they do mostly get all the modern hits. Nowadays, there's hardly any artists left that they haven't got the rights to, so they can put whatever they want on there. So let's kick things off with in the year 2000, disc one, track one, the first song I'm going to have is I Have a Dream by Westlife, the Christmas 1999 number one. It was still number one for a few weeks in early January, going into the year 2000. And I think going into the new millennium with lots of everyone's had a lot of optimism, a lot of excitement. Everyone's having, everyone's dreaming of things. They want to get this century right or this millennium right, compared to the last one. So I think that's a good one to kick one off. Westlife, I Have a Dream. Next up, another artist who was quite big, Britney Spears with Sometimes. Yeah, I was quite amazed that wasn't on. It hasn't been on the Nows. On Now 44, we had Hit Me Baby One More Time. On Now 45, we had her follow up Born to Make You Happy was on there. And Now 46, we had Oops I Did It Again. And then on Now 47, we had where is she on here? I think it's Lucky. She was there. Lucky, there it is. And then on Now 48, we then had where is it? I think it was Stronger. That's the one. Britney Spears, track 11. There you go, disc one. So basically, what happens is if you what normally happens is on the Now series is you only feature once unless you have two absolute bangers on. Sometimes you can get two or three times on a CD. Of course, not including any features. So if you like got your own song and then you feature another one song, then that's normally allowed as well. So obviously, I think during that period, Britney Spears had 5 hits in the year 2000. Obviously, one of them couldn't make it on. So I'm like, well, their loss is my gain. So let's have Britney Spears Sometimes as track 2. Track 3, quite an interesting one. I got Breathless by The Cause. It's kind of it made number one, but it's kind of a weird one because it's like I don't think it's their best song. I think in 1999 they had Dreams, and they had I can't remember what the other one was on their Dreams on Now 41 and Now 42. They had I can't remember what it's called now. The other one, but yeah, I think it's because they built things. It's one of those number ones where they built up on it. It was I don't think the song was that good, but I think it was like Stereophonics. Was it Dakota? That made number one, but I don't think that was their best song. It was they built up towards it, and I'm glad I got number one. They deserved it, but I don't think it was the right song. If you know what I mean, it's just they hit the ground running. It's like if Top Loader. I'll come on to Top Loader in just a moment. If Top Loader released a song in 2001 and it made number one, that will be another one of those, building up on, what they've done in the year 2000. So track 3, The Cause, Breathless. Track 4, I've got Sting with Desert Rose. I think it was in a advert for the Jaguar, or a car advert, I believe it was used in that advert. It's a great song, a nice sort of chilled out, relaxing song, sort of quite enjoyable. Track 5, I'm going to have Dancing in the Moonlight by Top Loader, perhaps the most underrated song from the year 2000. One that everyone loves nowadays. It's one that's really grown on, since the year 2000. It's really grown and grown and grown. I think it's been covered a few times. To and gone back into the chart a few times since then as well. In the track 6, I'm gonna have another the radio friendly Coming Around by Travis. I think someone else covered it. I can't remember who it was, and that's the version I heard. But I love Travis. I love Travis. You've got to have a bit of Travis on there. They're like one of those bands like Savage Garden and Maroon 5. If it's available, you've got to have it on there. Everyone loves a bit of Travis, a bit of Coldplay is another one. That you got to have Maroon 5, and so on. And true to form, coming up in track number 7, I've got Savage Garden, Affirmation. I think this is it. They were here like only for a couple of years and then gone to Savage Garden, which is such a shame. They're such a great band. If someone asked me if there's one band you wanted to get back together, I would say Savage Garden would be what I would pick. Some great songs from there. Mostly had some hits in the late '90s. I just remember Affirmation being perhaps their biggest hit in the early 2000s. Um, yeah. Then at track number 8, got the Here We Go. It's music by Madonna. Madonna's one of those artists like Red Hot Chili Peppers. That never featured on the Now. But who knows? She might. I think she featured her Hung Up was featured on a spin-off, a Now spin-off, not the main series, but a spin-off. I think. So who knows? She might have softened her. Um, I think there's a classic anecdotic story where um, Madonna released a album, and she said to her secretary or whatever it was, her PR, whatever. So how did my album do? Well, it made number one everywhere in the world except in the UK, where it only reached number two. And she went, "What? What cut me off the top?" And then she realised it was a Now. That's what I call music CD. Um, or album I should say, that kept off the top spot. And then since then, I think she's vowed not to let her music appear on a Now for keeping her off the top spot. This is quite an interesting story, but this is right at a time when compilation albums and artist albums were in the same chart. Of course, now I think partly because of that, they've now got their own chart. Since that time, or shortly after that time, there's a compilation album chart and a artist album chart. Next up, I've got track 9. I've got Steps, "Summer of Love." Steps are another band who had like Britney Spears, loads of hits that featured on Now CDs. I think on number 46 they were featured twice. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, so they were on track 16, disc 1, When I Said Goodbye, and then they're also on the final track on disc 2 with Deeper Shade of Blue. They're also on featured on Now 47 with Stomp. Did they feature on 45? I don't think they did. Yes, I did. Yeah, Say You'll Be Mine, of course. Um, but I'll have Summer of Love on there. It's another one where I guess I just didn't have room for. They couldn't find anywhere to put it. It's not to do with rights or anything like that. I think Bobby Williams is Supreme was another one like that, where there was no real room. There's too many songs for that artist to put on. Track number 10, Most Girls by Pink. Some people should say to me, no, you should go with There You Go. That was her debut hit. But I think Most Girls is the perhaps the first, her the earliest hit that most people remember and like. It was played quite a lot on the radio when I was younger in the year 2000s. So yeah, it's one that sticks with me, and it's my track list, so I go with what I want, and it's my rules. So, but you're more than welcome. If, in the comments, put your own track list. Let me know what you'd pick. If you'd put There You Go instead of Most Girls on, kudos to you. Yes. Track number 11. Another artist that didn't really make Now's recent until recently. Christina Aguilera's "What a Girl Wants." Genie in the Bottle and most of her earlier hits didn't. Christina Aguilera's hits, like Pink, most of their earlier hits did not hit. Were included on Now's. Must due to a rights issue. I think Christina Aguilera's. Correct me if I'm wrong. The first time she made a Now was on Now 65 with Ain't No Other Man, and I think coincidentally, Pink also made her first hit on the previous Now on Now 64 with Who Knew. Yeah, so obviously it must have been a recent. Well, I say recent. I still look about a good. Must be a good 10 years ago that Now 64, 65 was out, but more recent compared to the year 2000. Anyway, diverging again. But I do like to tell a story of each song why I picked it. Track 12, Sweet Female Attitude, Flowers. Again, it's another song that you hear quite a lot on the radio. You still hear it on the radio quite a lot. Still, it's like Dancing in the Moonlight by Top Loader. It's one that's played. If you listen to a lot of Hearts, like we have it on at work, so you hear a lot of Dancing in the Moonlight on there quite often. Sometimes the remix version you hear, or like the cover versions. I think Flowers was also covered recently as well. Yeah, so lots of radio friendly songs there. Lots of songs that may not been commercial big hits when they were released originally, but it's since people got around to listening to it, they think, hey, that's not too bad, and then people like it, and you know it gets good. So track 13, Sugar Babe's debut hit with Overload. That's got to be on there. Never great song, never artist that wasn't really. I think when was the first time Sugar Babes was on? And now probably was now. I think it was Hole in the Head. I think it was all round, round, round. No, it was Now 52 with Freak Like Me. That's right. I think that's the first time they made an L. Of course, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's right. Track 14, All Saints, Black Coffee. All Saints were another band who had a good 2000. I think they had a clean sweep as well and featured on all the nows in the year 2000. Just have a quick look and see, and I bet I'll get there'll be someone saying no, you're wrong, and I can't see them on Now 45. I know Pure Shores was on 47. Well, that's not very good. I go over spilt milk. You don't really know your nows if they're only featured on. I don't know why Black Coffee wasn't on a now. It's a great song. I love it. It's I think it was another William Orbit produced song. Love it. Black Coffee. Love it. Love it. And I love it how they do it. It's a boy, a black coffee. I won't sing it because I'll probably ruin it, and I don't want to get striked for copyrights. Track 15, another song that was that's recent, that has got better in time. Andreas Johnson, Glorious. What an absolute banger that is. It's never a great song there. Glorious. I'll be glorious. Anyway, next song, track 16, Amazed. It's another by Lone Star. Another song that's kind of like gone under the radar a bit. But that was really good. Baby, I'm amazed by you. There we go. I'm sure I'm gonna get copyrighted now, but who cares? Like I said before, it's my video. I'll do whatever I want. Track 17, Craig David, who I can say for a fact did have a successful year 2000. Featured on when the crowd said Bo Selector on Now 45 with The Artful Dodger, and then made 7 Days with Now 47. And then the follow-up hit, Walking Away, another great song. That should have gone on Now 48, but never mind, it didn't. Oh well. So it's Now's loss. Track 18, REM, The Great Beyond. I think that was to do with a tie-in for a film. Correct me if I'm wrong. Another sort of like, I remember it's like you're pushing an elephant up the stairs or something. I can't really remember that song. It's like if you told me sing that song, I couldn't think how it goes. But I think it definitely goes on here. Track 19, another one that sort of went under the radar as well. Santana with Rob Thomas, Smooth. It's just like the ocean under the moon. Not under the room, under the moon. Smooth. There you go. Another great song there. Sort of like with a combo. I should have put that maybe with Ricky Martin if I have Ricky Martin. That should have comboed well together. Two Latino sort of hits. Even though one's a chilled, this one's quite a smooth, chilled out one, and Ricky Martin's quite upbeat and quite sort of party. Who knows? I might have Ricky Martin on here on track 2. So the final track number 20 on disc 1, Mariah Carey with Westlife hit. So another so I should also say, like, I do it like a canal, where if you can have your own standalone track, and but if you feature on someone else's, that you can have that as well. Mariah Carey featuring Westlife, Against All Odds. I believe it was originally done by Phil Collins. I think it was on. It was on Now 4, I think it was. Take a look at me now. So yeah, that's that. I think that's a great song to round up the the first disc. So what I like to do with my nows is, like, I like to keep disc 1 to be like sort of like poppy, sort of like The sort of mainstream sort of hits, and then disc two is more like your sort of like mostly like your rock and your dance and basically everything else really that I wouldn't say it's still pop, but not like as poppy, if that makes any sense. Sort of the sort of songs that you don't that wouldn't you don't really get on the you wouldn't really hear on the radio. So this too, we're going to kick off with Manic Street Preachers, Masses Against the Classes. Yeah, it's a song that you don't really hear about. I mean, it's another song where if you told me sing it, I'll be like, I can't really remember how it goes off the top of my head. Um, can't think it combos well with track two, Oasis's "Go Let It Out." Um, I don't think Oasis did make a single now in the year 2000. They did release songs. It's kind of a sort of a love hate relationship. I think kind of like Beyonce as well. Sometimes I think it's like it depends on the mood. Sometimes Beyonce and Oasis they're on the now. Sometimes they're not. Um, yeah, yeah. No Oasis on them. Just gonna look through them now. Oh well, their loss. So track three, Eminem with Dido, Stan. What a great song. Well, samples a great song. Samples Thank You by Dido. It's a great song. Thank you. And then it actually made now 49. Thank you. Sort of yeah. So I guess we're kind of grateful to Eminem for really helping Dido. I think she had her first hit here with me, and then after that, it's kind of went quite. Her career sort of panned out, and then when Stan sampled "Thank You," Vic Dido will say thank you to Eminem for sampling it because it's kind of created an interest back into Dido again. And of course, and then re-release of release of the following year. Thank You, a great song. Yeah, it's a great song. Thank you. Like I love the first, first, not the chorus, the first verse. It's your tea's gone cold and you're wondering why you got out of bed. And then it's raining outside as well. And then you remember it's not so bad. It's not so bad because you got you got someone to pick. You got someone who cares about you, thinks about you, and then you realize it's just a bad day. I'm fine. It's okay. So yeah, if you ever feel down or upset, just listen to Dido's "Thank You." Make you realize things aren't so bad. So Eminem featuring Dido Stan at track three. We all remember that song. An over obsessed fan called Stan. um, yeah, and then track four, another sort of forgotten one. Limp Bizkit's take on Mission Impossible. Take a look around. Kind of a rockier version, if that's possible, of the Mission Impossible theme. Take a look around. That's another classic song. Um, Track five, another artist who is an offender from the Nows, Red Hot Chili Peppers with Californication. Um, I know some people have covered Red Hot Chili Peppers and they've made Nows, like I think All Saints covered Under the Bridge on Now 40, and you've also got Peter Gilderblom's remix of By the Way on Now 68. There's probably others as well. But yeah, going to put Californication on disc two. I think it's I wouldn't say it's their biggest hit, but it's certainly like I said, it's one of those artists where if I can find an excuse to put it on there, I'll put it on. Number six, the classic Wu-Tang Clan, their Gravel Pit. Check out my gravel pit. Such a such an addictive little hit. It's the hook. Once you listen to the hook, it's like a really addictive, and you just can't stop listening to it. Another song that's kind of underrated, "Still My Sunshine" by Len. It's we still don't just don't steal my sunshine. It's the message of the song. It's I think it's a song about like relationships and something happened at night, and they wake up the next day and they're all a bit upset, and it's like and then they go, yeah, well, why don't we go and cheer him up then? He looks kind of down, and then he goes, he looks kind of down. Yeah, well, maybe we ought to cheer them up then. It's sounds like a good idea to me. If you see anyone who looks a bit down, go ahead and cheer them up. Next up, track 8, Destiny's Child with Independent Woman. A big hit which featured on the Charlie's Angels film that year. Um, yeah, I think it's like that was a song that really brought Destiny's Child and Kelly and Beyonce and the other one onto the on in into our sphere, and really helped their careers take off, and they never looked back since that Independent Woman and featuring on the Charlie's Angels soundtrack. So yeah, Destiny's Child with Independent Woman Part 1. Track 9, another song that I was kind of amazed it didn't make now was Tony Braxton's "He Wasn't Man Enough." Another strong, I think that combos well with Destiny's Child, sort of like power to the woman. He wasn't, he wasn't man enough. Essentially, what you don't need a man. Destiny's Child are saying, and Tony Braxton said he wasn't man enough. Another carrying on with the girl power. We've got track 10. I'm going to have Girl Thing, Last One Standing. Do you remember that one? It's another one that's sort of like it's kind of forgotten, but some people it's either you know about it or you don't. It's kind of I think it's must be one they still play at school discos. I think more now, or it's featured on like Kids Bop, that sort of thing. That'll probably do the rounds there. Track 11. We're gonna change direction now. We're gonna have Five and Queen with We Will Rock You. Five are another band who are quite big. Kind of like Westlife. It's like a lot of boy bands where we're doing the rounds at the beginning of the millennium. Five and Westlife and Backstreet Boys, Coldplay was starting out. Yeah, lots on there. Next up, track 12, A1, Take On Me, the cover of Aha's Take On Me. Yeah, I mean A1, there was another short-lived boy band who basically never, I think it was year 2000. It's like 2003 was when we had pop stars and things, so sort of manufactured pop sort of thing. Yeah, still a good song. I enjoy it. And then a completely different direction on track 13. I've got Dr. Dre with Snoop Dogg, Still Dre. It's one that that's covered. That's kind of means quite a lot. Is when they go still, but still. So yeah, I enjoy it. It's a good song. Track 14, Baha Men, Who Let the Dogs Out. Now, this is quite an interesting one because on Now 47, if you look at track number 17, you've got the B-Boys version of Who Let the Dogs Out. And also, if you listen to if you ever get to, if you search Now 47 TV advert, on the advert they play the Baha Men version, but you get the B-Boys version. So there must have been some sort of rights issue, like a 12-hour one, sort of like really late in the day. So they're like, well, we've got to have it on. We've got to have Who Let the Dogs Out on now because we promised it. So yeah, so they had to go for the B-Boys version, I guess. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Who Let the Dogs Out. Great song. I think it's the only one normally. Now's more known for like having that's when Nails first came out. It was that's one of the strengths of the Nails, basically, because I think most compilations were done on one vinyl. Well, now they now released it on two, so they had more room. They could actually have the actual artist on rather than have a cover band and have a cover version. Like I think KTEL and that did they released compilations, but they were like they had session singers instead. Um, but now did do it, but it's have session have not the actual real thing. But I think it's only one of the few times where now did a naughty and didn't do the actual proper artist. I think and now 34 they had Lost Del Mar's version rather than Lost Del Rio's version of Macarena. I mean, you got to have that sort of song, like an iconic song like Macarena or Who Let Dogs Out. You got to have it, even if you got to go with second best. It's one of those songs where it's like, no, it's got to be there. We've got to have it. So track number 15. It's one that I've alluded to quite often. Ricky Martin's "She Bangs." Yeah, sort of the follow up to "Living La Vida Loca." You know, it's a sort of Spanglish hit. It's sort of Ricky Martin sort of paved the way for artists like Enrique Iglesias, Pitbull. Um, you know, the reggaeton sort of scene, sort of like you know, sort of helped lay the foundations to it very early on. I know reggaeton's more of like a recent thing, you know, 20 years after this happened, but still, someone's got to like build it up. You know, you had Ricky Martin and then Enrique Iglesias and Pitbull. You know, bring a bit of Spanglish in, and then go for the reggaeton after on. Track 16, William Orbit's Adagio for Strings, the Ferry Corson remix. Yeah, a great song. Um, yeah, a really good instrumental. I dig it anyway. I like it. Track 17. Now I think this is criminal. That this was not included on a now. You had track 17, Daft Punk. One more time. I don't know how that didn't make a now. On now 50, I think they had was it Digital Dreams or something. They had it on, so they must have the rights to Daft Punk. But how did they not put on one more time? An absolute banger, sort of like one of those songs that you'd think would be a dead cert to get on now if they had the rights. But it didn't. But so it's like, never mind. I'll have it on my CD. So everyone wins in the end. Um, track 18, Boomfunk MC's Freestyler, another song that was kind of big at the time, sort of you know gone into you don't really hear it nowadays, but it was kind of big at the time. It was sort of like the cool song that everyone sort of played, you know, all the cool kids played that sort of thing, and I dig it. I still enjoy it. It's a good song. Track 19, Oxide and Neutrino, Bound for the Reload. Like so this is the sort of like another pioneer, sort of the garage sort of scene. You know, Bound for the Reload samples the Casualty theme tune, and it also has samples. I think it's a quote from Lock, Stock and Four Smoking Barrels. I think it was called. Basically something about people not getting shot, and can we stop getting shot, please? You know, it's must be a song about, you know, anti-guns, that sort of thing, anti-gun sort of song. Yeah, I mean it's quite a good song. I think that should have been on a now. Perhaps maybe I should have edited out the bits about, you know, people getting shot. Maybe that's why it didn't get on the now, because of you know, well, you can't talk about people get that sort of thing. You can't have on a sort of this sort of thing unless you have a parental advisory sticker. But I think there've been worse things on nows. I can't think of anything to mind, but I think there has been, like, you know, I know there's some now CDs like I think Prince Igor and Now 39. I think that's got you got some good swearing on there, a lot of N words on there, which is, I think it's you know, if you compare the N word with people talking about guns, they're both quite bad things. You know, it's they're both bad in their own way. Sort of like you know, if you like, you know, being like sexism, that sort of thing. All bad in you know, in their you know, all just as bad as each other. You know, on same sort of levels. What I'm trying to say. And then to round it off, track 20, the big finish with Element 4's version of the Big Brother theme tune. Yep. I kind of forget that it was Big Brother was started in the year 2000. Again, it's this new age of like voyeurism. It's with Big Brother, sort of like people, you know, not interested about what they're up to anymore. They're more interested about what other people are up to. Um, which I never got into Big Brother myself. I just like the theme tune. That's the only thing I did like about it. But yeah, so anyway, that's my year 2000. I'll do compile my year 2001 soon. Hopefully, I'll have that released soon to you know, to follow up on this video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to do your own video, and you know, let me know what you'd put on your year 2000 CD. it's quite a good track listing on the original. I think that's why I enjoyed the album. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Goodbye.